Greetings, hello viewers. Welcome once again to this YouTube channel, Your Motivation with Daniel Odhiambo, a channel which is wholly dedicated for matters related to spirituality, guidance and inspiration, health-related messages, parenting wisdom, current issues and social reflection, and student mentorship in both high schools and also universities together with the colleges. Today, we shall talk about a very important topic, which of course cuts across all the parents and all the guardians, and that is tips for parenting during the long holidays. Remember, we've actually been having a long holiday which has started way back in October 24th, when the schools closed, and therefore what are some of the things which you as a parent you are supposed to do. Just briefly, let me take you back a bit to tell you how the calendar of this particular 2025 has been. You know, the first term began in January 6th 2025 and ended or came to a close on 4th of April 2025. That particular term had 13 weeks, and therefore within the term at the same time we actually had 7 days for the half term. Together you'll realize that that particular term alone also had 3 weeks for the holidays. Second term also started, it ran for 14 weeks. First term 13 weeks, second term 14 weeks, and therefore the starting for second term was from April 28th to August 1st. And there was a 5-day break for also the half term, and then the school closed for a 3-week holiday. That is from June 25th to June 29th, and therefore you'll actually realize that the calendar or the second term actually came to an end on August 2025 on 22nd. The third term began on 25th 2025. It ran for 9 weeks, and therefore you'll actually realize that it was the shortest time ever, because the first term it was 13 weeks, the second term was 14 weeks, the third term was 9 weeks, and therefore after that, the schools closed on 24th of October, and we are having 11 weeks. Remember, this 11 weeks is actually very crucial, because the 11 weeks, the students or their children are at home. The children are at home. The parents and the guardians, they are elsewhere, or we are elsewhere. We are actually looking for what? We are in employment. We are looking for how we can actually sustain this particular our children in school, and also getting to find their fees and also things like that. And therefore, just to brief you, and also to realize how best we are doing parenting, you realize that the first term we actually had 3 weeks break, second term 3 weeks break, third term 11 weeks break, and total 16 weeks. So it means that in total, in a year we actually have 52 weeks, and in total we actually have 16 weeks when the students or our children are with us. The rest of the 36 weeks they are in school. When they are in school, remember, they are doing so well because there is a structured way of doing things. When they wake up in the morning, they come to class, they do all sorts of things, the lessons and breaks and lunchtime and games and all that. So you realize that while they're in school, there is that particular consistency. There is that particular program, and therefore you'll realize that the students or our children, when they're in school, they are very, very much organized. A question comes, when they come back home for the 16 weeks, that they are at home, how do we do the parenting? Remember, we wake up in the morning, we go to work. Who are with them? Who are with them? And therefore, that's actually what we thought about, that we should actually bring about this particular discussion, so that we can actually get to know what we need to know, and also to maybe pull up our socks where we are not actually doing well. And therefore, while students or our children are very happy when they're actually coming back for this particular long holidays, the parents sometimes you realize that they are so much having a lot of anxiety, because they are thinking that with this particular long vacation or with this particular long holiday, what will my children do? Because they go to work. And therefore, this is a thing which of course is global, because when you look at the United States, you realize that most of the parents, when the schools actually close for the long summer breaks, they even have very big problem. Why do they have big problem? Because they think that this particular long vacation can actually be disastrous to their students, to their children, and because of that, Some of them even take unpaid leave to be with the children, taking unpaid leave to be with the children. I looked at that, and therefore I found that to be very, very significant, because they realize that bringing up the children is a very crucial thing, because if you lose it, you'll actually lose the child at the same time. When you go to France, you realize that these parents are also having a lot of problem, because when the long vacation comes, they think that the best thing they should do is to take the children to the holiday camps. But the problem comes because the holiday comes at the same time, they are overbooked, because they are also very few. So when they are overbooked and also they become very expensive, you realize that that one becomes also a very big problem. India, at the same time, in the Far East, there's also a problem. And the problem is that these particular children become glued to the screen. They become screen zombies. And when they become screen zombies, you realize that there's a very big problem. And therefore, they say that when the schools close, now my children will become screen zombies. What are we supposed to do? And therefore, if you also go to South Africa and Brazil, it is actually quite different, because for them, they worry about the safety, specifically the safety of these particular children, that when they are at home and they are working elsewhere, what is happening? When I'm in the office, for example, when I'm working elsewhere and my children are at home, I don't know what they are doing. So to South Africans and also the people from Brazil, during this particular long vacation, they become so much unhappy or anxiety or very much anxious, because when they are there, they don't actually know what happens to these particular children because of that particular free time. And therefore, in Kenya, it's also the same, because this particular free time, the long vacation or the long holiday, if at all there's no clear supervision, you realize that these particular children can actually get into activities which will not actually be very, very good, because this is the time when we actually have teenage pregnancies, the drug use. Even if someone has never ever involved in drugs and substance abuse, this is a time where they'll actually have friends, and these particular friends will actually tell them, hey, tuende mahali hapa, let us go this way. And when they go in that particular way, you'll realize that he'll actually be told that, hey, can you actually taste this? Can you actually smoke this? Just try. And in that particular process, these particular children, they'll actually start smoking. And therefore, this particular long vacation, if it is not looked at well, it can really bring a lot of problem. I was talking to some parents, and they were talking about economic strain, that during this particular time, the children are at home, and they have to eat. And then they have to eat, there must be proper breakfast, proper lunch, and proper supper. So to some parents, it is even economic strain. And also, at the same time, like these particular small children in grade 1, 2, grade 1, 2, 3, this particular long vacation can actually make them forget what they were taught in class. So in the long run, the parents in our country, they become very anxious. So we talk about academic anxiety. They are very much anxious, and they are thinking that this particular long break can actually make this particular small or young children now to lose direction, because they are going to forget what they were taught in class. So as children rejoice for the long holiday, the parents worry how they are actually going to do parenting while they are at work. So, on the 21st of October this year, the Kenya Film Classification Board, that is the KFCB, they actually came up with an advisory, especially to the parents, during this particular long vacation or this particular long break. And they told the parents that this is a time where they should be very, very much vigilant when it comes to social, or when it actually comes to media consumption, because everything is out there. Now, how will we actually ensure that what our children consume is the right thing or are the right things? So the Kenya Film Classification Board actually gave that advisory, that this is the moment whereby the children or the parents must be the children, and they should try to monitor what their children and consume, because some are very harmful, some are very inappropriate content, especially for them, and therefore that advisory, I find it very much important to us as parents. So at the same time, they talked about the screen time. sometimes, just as we talked about India, you realize that also in this particular, in our houses or where we live, sometimes you realize that the moment the child wakes up, he's in the screen with the remote all the time, from morning to evening. You know, that's actually very disastrous, because they actually need time also to go and do what, and play outside with their colleagues and all that. And therefore, this is also the time where the parents should also safeguard this particular screen time. If possible, make sure that you actually have a designated time whereby you'll actually say that this is the time for the screen, this is the time for going out to play, this is the time for doing a household chores and things like that. It's quite crucial. Parenting is very important. Let us do our work very well as the parents. Let us actually do our work very well as the parents. And therefore, there are a lot of challenges which are now comes during this particular long holiday. That's as we have actually seen. A lot of challenges as parents. Because the children actually feel that this is the time they actually put aside the books. They are so tired of the books. They need to what? They need to do other things. They are so tired. In fact, they have been so tired because 36 weeks in a year they have been in school. And therefore, they feel that they are so tired and they need to put the books aside. As they put the books aside, also as parents, it is our duty to do what? To monitor what they are doing. The moment you don't monitor what they are doing, as I said initially, then we are going to have problem, because are coming up. So as they grow, remember, they are finding themselves, they need a lot of guidance, especially when it comes to their sexual health. They need a lot of guidance. So the moment we are not there for them, the moment you can actually give that particular guidance, remember, they'll actually get that guidance from elsewhere. That elsewhere may not be a very important, because it may not be very good for them, because they can actually go to the what? They can actually go to the internet and actually find that particular guidance there. The guidance in the internet may not be well, because it is unguided. And therefore, parents, it's a real challenge. It's a real challenge for us, being with our children during this particular time. As I said initially, if we don't guard them well, the teenage pregnancies will be there. This idle time, the idle time requires a lot of what? A lot of parental guidance, because they have time. Let us actually use this particular time well, so that all is well. The challenges the students may face, or the children may face, they may have challenges here and there. They may have challenges here and there. When they actually have challenges in their health, when they actually have their challenges when it comes to their social circles, when they have challenges on whatever it may be, it's important that we as parents, we are there for them. We are there for them. A good example or a question to put across: do you, as a parent, do you think you are there for your children? Or you go to work in the morning, you come to work very late at 9, you find them, they are asleep. In the morning, you are out, you come back in the evening when they are. It's not very good. So I am challenging you and myself that let us actually find adequate time to be with this particular children of ours which have been given to us by God, so that we understand them. We understand them and we bring them up well, because there are times they need answers to the challenge they are facing, and those particular challenges require some kind of open dialogue. So the moment that dialogue is not there, I tell you that these particular children of ours will kind of suffer, and they suffer in silence, and that is actually not very good for us. It's not very good for them. And therefore, as a parent, what must you understand, or what must you do? Keep watch over your children. Very significant. Keep watch over your children during this particular long holiday. Make sure that you actually find something they do, because remember, they are very energetic. They are very energetic. Just find something which, of course, they can do very well. They can do what they can enjoy doing. They can enjoy doing. And as they do that, you realize that they'll use this particular time very well. Because initially I told you that in high school, in the school, there are programs right from the morning to evening. But so when they come here, there is no program. They're just there. You'll realize that this thing can actually cause a lot of a problem. So in as much as we are having this particular long holiday, some parental experts actually indicate that this is a time for family reunion. So when it's a family reunion, let us actually be there with them. The children are there, the parents are there. It is a reunion. So it should not be a reunion whereby it is a reunion in quotes and the parents are not there to give this particular guidance. So let us be a family reunion, a very good, important opportunity for us to converse with our children, to understand them, to guide them, and to do all that is supposed to be done for them to come up or for them to grow up when they are emotionally stable, they are very okay, and they are spiritually upright. That is very, very much important. Very, very much important. At the same time, while you are away, you are working outside there, don't turn your children to be house managers. Remember, they can actually help in the household task or the cause, but don't actually turn them to be the house managers, because if you turn them to the house managers, there's likely to be a problem. So just give them duties, which of course they can able to do when they love, when they are loved. So that will be very much important. The most important thing, again, which of course I wanted us also to delve into to understand more as parents, is the use of the smartphones and also internet access. The use of the smartphones and the internet access. Most of the time when I've seen this a couple of times. When you go to a house when a parent actually comes from work, the first thing these small children will actually come for is, Daddy, give me the phone. Daddy, give me the phone. And immediately after that, they go to the sites and all that. They navigate it. They know how to navigate that very well. So it's important that as we give them access to these particular smartphones, the laptops and all that, let us actually have time to monitor the sites. Those particular sites they are logging into, because there are some sites which are very unsafe, and those particular sites can land them into online bullying. And this particular online bullying is actually not very good. It can actually can actually result into a very bad things. And therefore, let us be vigilant. Let us be very vigilant, so that these particular children of ours are very safe when it actually comes to the internet. At the same time, you realize that when this particular long vacation or long holidays is used well, it will be very much important for our children, because first, you realize that there's adequate time for revision. The 11 weeks, quite a long time. So we can actually use this particular 11 weeks for the revision, and also at the same time, they can delve deeper into subjects that they did grasp well while they were in school. So they do that, but very reluctantly, not very seriously, but in a relaxed manner, because they are supposed to actually have the long holiday or the 11 weeks. And then also when used well, this particular 11 weeks, this is the time where these particular children of ours can explore their talents. They actually have been given so much talent. They have a lot of talent, and therefore maybe in school, when they are elsewhere, they cannot be able to explore well. So while in this particular long vacation, they're likely to explore. You can actually maybe help them at the same time as a parent to explore the talents they have, and therefore that will be very much important. So your responsibility as a parent, be cautious about what your child or your children are occupying themselves with. Be very cautious. Learn to know even the friends they have. Even if you come to the house at any moment, when your child is not there, you'll be able to tell yourself that maybe if he's not here, then he's in somebody's house, so-and-so's house, so-and-so's house, so-and-so house. And apparently if you go there, you'll actually find them. That is very much important. So learn, be very cautious, know where your kids are and what they are occupying themselves with. Which activities are they occupying themselves with? Then the most important also thing is that I've said that you have to know their whereabouts, and make sure that if you are away, make sure that you actually have a very trustworthy caregiver, someone actually who you live with them must be very trustworthy, someone who can be reached anytime, someone who, when there is a problem, can address very fast even while you are away. So that's actually very much significant. We should be able to know that. So also, even while you are away, tell these particular children where they should go and where they should not go. That's very much important, where they should go and where they should not go. Remember, they can go anywhere. So that particular guidance is important. Just tell them that I don't want you to I don't want you to be seen in such places. I don't want, especially places where there are drugs, places where people are drinking, places where all sorts. Because you realize that when they walk all through these particular places, they can be influenced. Those particular people who are taking drugs, or those people who are alcoholic, they can even abuse them and all that. And therefore, let us actually tell our children to keep away from those particular places, even as you are not there. Just give them guidance and they shall comply. Also, they don't comply in one reason or another, or because of one reason or another, if it comes to discipline, discipline them with a lot of love. Discipline them with a lot of love. Avoid violence. Avoid violence. Communicate with them properly. And at the same time, don't, even when you are disciplining them, try to find out other avenues of discipline. Things have actually changed. How I grew up when I was young is quite different. The way you bring them up. So let us be actually very cautious, because that one will actually go a long way in helping our children to grow well. That one is very much important. And therefore, it is significant to note the following, that spending our time with children is better, because we shall actually know their strengths, their weaknesses, and will actually help them to grow up. Being there with them will actually help them to open up with you, and also to discuss so many things which, of course, maybe they may be facing, the challenges they are facing in school. They don't actually have time, and this is the time whereby, when they actually have this particular long duration of time, when they are in the holiday, they can easily discuss with you, Daddy, what is happening? Mommy, what is happening? So that openness, you'll actually realize so many things happening in school, so many things happening in the environment, and things like that. So it's very much important as a parent. It's significant for us to note that that is very, very important. Let us use this particular long holiday to reconnect and to mentor our children, rather than leaving them very idle and unsupervised. Because the moment we leave them very idle and unsupervised, just the way I've actually said, will actually bringing problems which are not actually very good. So despite your busy schedules, despite our busy schedules, let us actually try to allocate time to be with the children. Let us allocate time to understand them. Let us allocate time to have fun with them. That will be very, very much important. So let us actually, as we are parenting during this particular long vacation, let us actually not forget that. Let us not forget that, because it is actually very, very much important. And therefore, as I am bringing this to a close, it's actually very much important for us to know this, because a writer by the name Stewart B. Johnson penned this way, or actually said this way, that as parents, it is very easy to dodge our responsibilities, but we can't dodge the consequences of neglecting those particular responsibilities. So you may be busy running up and down looking for money. You are neglecting your responsibilities as a parent, but the consequences will come because of that particular neglect will be so much enormous. And therefore, before that, as Stewart B. Johnson has said, let us actually use our time very well to be with the children, to mentor them. Remember also that parents are the first teachers and role models. The first teachers and role models. And therefore, if they are the first teachers and role models, you cannot actually expect your first one to quote some book by which is Advent's homepage 187, and actually it indicates that let parents remember that their example and spirit will mold their children's character. Remember, their example and spirit will mold their children's character more than their words. So don't actually tell your children, do this, and then at the same time yours is different. No. Let parents remember that their example and spirit will mold their children's character more than their words. So if you actually want your child's character to be very okay, to be very right, please make sure that your character also speaks that. The moment it does speak that, the children will not follow that. Another one in the book of Child Guidance, page 259, it indicates that children are to be taught to obey, but they are also to be won by love. So even as you teach them to obey these things, as you teach them to be disciplined at this particular time, please make sure that you win them by love. You win them by love. So, and lastly, in the Ministry of Healing book, page 388, I love that. It actually indicates that let parents guard their words and action. Let parents guard their words and action, lest harshness or lack of sympathy they drive their children to rebellion. So when we are very much harsh to the children, because we say that even when we are correcting, we correct in love. So the moment we are so harsh to our children, will actually be driving them to rebel against us, and that will be not very important, not very okay with us when it comes to parenting. And therefore, viewers, this is actually what I thought that we should actually share today. And in the next video, we shall talk about parental tips for school-going children. That will be part 2. This was part 1. So I welcome you once again, that once that time reaches, I welcome you that you come, you watch all this, because it's actually very much important for us, because we've been given this particular responsibility of parenting. And as we parent, it's important for us also to do this particular parenting in the nice way possible, in the way which will